Hi guys! Today I'm going to give you some tips about the phone interview. So I've only done this once and I don't know how good I would say I am at it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did in my experience. Beforehand I did prepare a little bit. I wrote about a page of notes. Some people seem to go kind of nuts and write out like a novel, but I don't think that's necessary. I just wrote down a couple tips, a couple questions that I thought she would ask and my answers, and then a couple questions I'd have for my interviewer. So the only tips I wrote down were, number one, smile. That's what you hear from everyone. That's the biggest, most important thing. So you gotta smile the whole interview so that you sound like a Disney employee and like you'd be able to work there for a million hours in a row and still give guests a good experience. The only other thing I wrote was to explain your answers. My interview ended up being about 22 minutes long, and I think that was because I talked a lot. My phone interview was scheduled for February 10th at 5:45 p.m., which was a Sunday, and she called about 3 or 4 minutes late, and her name was Nancy, and I wrote that down on my notes right away because I'm terrible with names. Most people say you should try to use your interviewer's name at least once during the interview, and I threw it in at the end. I said, a thank you, Nancy kind of deal. She was really nice, and she made me feel really comfortable, and it was definitely the most secure I've ever felt in an interview. It was wonderful. Just like Disney auditions. It's just like a good experience. She started by asking me basic questions like if I had any tattoos or piercings, and my park preference, and my role preference. For park preference, I said Walt Disney World. I started with character performer, which is my first choice, and I told her about how I've been traveling to all these auditions. I think that was really helpful because she saw that I've kind of already shown dedication to the company and that it's something I really want and I'm trying for, and that this isn't just, like a fling for me or job experience or resume building. It's really what I want to do. And then my next choice was character attendant because I have some experience in that from working at Six Flags. And I brought up that because I worked as an RA, I have experience with being assertive, which is important for character attendants. And then I talked about merchandise and how I have training on a cash register and some retail experience. And then I talked about attractions and how a lot of the attractions at Disney World have a really good atmosphere and how the people working that can bring you really into that world and how I'd like to be a part of that. So she asked me, why do you want to work for Disney? Which you will definitely get asked. So this is one question to prepare for. This is one of the 2 questions I prepared for. And I wrote down like 5 bullet points and I only got to one of them because I just kept elaborating. I talked about how theater is making magic to me and how I want to make magic for Disney. It said it a lot better for her. The other question I prepared for was about balancing tasks and guests, and she threw in the phone is also ringing. And I was able to use some of my past work experience to talk about how I handle it. And always remember, the guest always comes first. And if you want to look around online, they have like every question under the sun you might possibly be asked, and you can prepare for all of them. But I think the better way to go about it is just research the roles that you're interested in and know something about all of the roles that you put any interest in, because that way you'll just be naturally prepared instead of so scripted. She asked me if I had a valid driver's license, and I said yes. And she said, because some roles require that you have a valid driver's license. And I said, right, like entertainment. And she was like, yes. Which I think that was good because it showed, that I do have, I kind of know what I'm talking about in this role that I want so badly. And when we got to the end, she asked if I had any questions for her, and I did. I had like 5 of them. I don't think it really matters what you ask, just that you ask something. In any interview, you want to show that you have, A, interest, but that B, you've done some research and something caught your interest and made you want to know more. So I asked her a little bit about the classes that are available and how that lines up with scheduling for work. And then when I could tell it was all coming to a close, I said, before you let me go, I just want to, then I spieled about, why this is important to me, and blah, 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 which I would recommend doing because it's professional. And of course, it's always good to kind of recap at the end and to end with, those strong points of this is why I should be part of your company. And then she told me to have a magical day, and I told her to have a magical day also. And it was really wonderful. It was a great experience. And then I heard back On the morning of the 14th, I woke up and I had an email. So it was a pretty quick turnaround. Yeah, the phone interview is not something to worry about. You definitely do want to prepare and do your research and know about the roles that you want. But they're going to make it a good experience. Just be yourself and smile. So good luck to everyone who still has their phone interviews to do or their web-based interviews. And good luck to everyone with auditions coming up this month because it's March finally, yay. Yeah, and I'll have a auditions video up soon because I could write a book on Disney auditions. Okay, awesome. Have a magical day.